Welcome back to another episode. Today we are talking about I will do it tomorrow. This sentence sounds harmless. It feels comfortable. It feels safe. It feels like you are not saying no, just not now. But tomorrow is powerful. Tomorrow delays dreams. Tomorrow slows growth. Tomorrow keeps you stuck. Most people do not fail because they are lazy. They fail because they keep choosing tomorrow. If this sentence feels familiar, this podcast is for you. Why we say, I will do it tomorrow. Let us be honest. Saying I will do it tomorrow feels good. It removes pressure, it gives relief, protects you from discomfort. Your brain loves comfort. Your brain loves easy choices. Your brain avoids effort and uncertainty. So when a task feels hard, uncomfortable, or boring, your brain offers a solution. Do it tomorrow, not because tomorrow is better, but because now feels difficult. Tomorrow is a trick. Here is the truth. Tomorrow is not real. It is an idea, a promise with no deadline. Tomorrow keeps moving. When tomorrow arrives, it becomes today. And today becomes tomorrow again. That is how people stay stuck for years. Not days, not weeks, years. They are not failing. They are waiting. The emotional side of procrastination. Procrastination is not about time. It is about emotion. People do not avoid work. They avoid feelings, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of effort, fear of starting. So instead of facing the feeling, they delay the task. I will do it tomorrow. Why starting feels so hard? Starting is the hardest part, because starting breaks comfort. Before you start, everything is safe. Nothing can go wrong. Once you start, mistakes are possible. Judgment is possible. Failure feels closer. So your brain resists, not because you are weak, but because your brain is trying to protect you. But protection can turn into a prison. The cost of tomorrow. Let us talk about the cost, not money, but life. Tomorrow costs confidence. Every delay weakens trust in yourself. Tomorrow costs momentum, because progress needs movement. Tomorrow costs opportunity, because time does not wait. Tomorrow costs peace, because unfinished tasks stay in your mind. That quiet stress you feel, that background anxiety, that guilt. That is tomorrow following you. You are not lazy. Let me say this clearly, you are not lazy. Lazy people do not care. You care. That is why you feel guilty. You want to improve. That is why you clicked this podcast. Your problem is not effort. Your problem is timing and fear. The lie of motivation. Most people say, I will start when I feel motivated. But motivation comes after action, not before. Waiting for motivation is another version of tomorrow. Action creates motivation. Movement creates energy. Progress creates confidence, not the other way around. Small starts change everything. You do not need to do everything today. You just need to start something. 1 page, 5 minutes, 1 message, 1 step. Small action breaks the power of tomorrow. Once you start, your brain relaxes, resistance drops, momentum begins. Your future self is waiting. Your future self is not stronger, not smarter, not more disciplined. Your future self is just you, with the results of your choices every time you delay. Your future self pays the price every time you start. Your future self benefits. You are either helping your future self or making life harder for them. The comfort trap. Comfort feels good now, but costs later. Discomfort feels hard now, but pays later. Every meaningful change, every skill, every improvement requires temporary discomfort. Tomorrow is comfort. Today is courage. The real question. The question is not, can I do this? The question is, will I choose now instead of later? Because ability is rarely the problem. Decision is a simple mindset shift. Instead of saying, I will do it tomorrow. Say, I will start now and stop when I want. Starting does not mean finishing. Starting means showing up. And showing up changes everything. Right now, think about one thing you are delaying. Just one. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice the tension. Notice the weight. That weight lifts the moment you start. This podcast is not about pressure, it is about honesty. You do not need to change your whole life today. You just need to stop lying to yourself about tomorrow. Starting today does not make you perfect. It makes you honest. Why tomorrow feels safer than today? Tomorrow feels safer because it has no consequences yet. Today demands action. Today demands effort. Today exposes uncertainty. Tomorrow allows imagination without responsibility. You can picture yourself productive, successful, disciplined, without actually doing the work. Your brain enjoys this fantasy. It feels rewarding without risk. But fantasy without action slowly drains confidence. The gap between intention and action. Most people have good intentions. They want to improve, they want to grow, they want to change. The problem is not intention. The problem is execution. There is a gap between knowing and doing, and tomorrow lives inside that gap. Every time you delay, that gap gets wider. Why pressure makes procrastination worse? When you pressure yourself too much, your mind rebels. Harsh self-talk, high expectations, all or nothing thinking. These create fear, and fear creates avoidance. So instead of helping yourself, you push the task into tomorrow. Gentle discipline works better than force. The myth of the perfect moment. People wait for the perfect time, the perfect mood, the perfect energy. But perfect moments do not exist. There will always be noise, distraction, low energy days, doubt. Waiting for perfection is another form of delay. Progress begins in imperfect moments. Start before you feel ready. Read that again. Start before you feel ready. Readiness comes from action, not thinking. Confidence grows after effort, not before. Every skilled person you admire started before they felt ready. They moved despite doubt. The 5-minute rule. Tell yourself, I will do this for 5 minutes, not forever, not perfectly, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes is easy. 5 minutes is not scary, but 5 minutes often turns into more. Even if it does not, you still showed up. Showing up builds trust with yourself. Why self-trust matters. Self-trust is built through follow-through, not motivation. Every time you say, I will do this, and then you do not, trust weakens. Every time you act, even briefly, trust grows. Strong self-trust makes action easier. The weight of unfinished tasks. Unfinished tasks do not disappear. They stay in your mind. They create background stress, mental noise, emotional fatigue. That is why rest does not feel restful, because your mind is still carrying tomorrow. Starting removes weight, even before finishing. Action reduces overthinking. Overthinking feeds procrastination. Procrastination feeds overthinking. Action breaks the loop. You do not think your way into clarity. You act your way into it. Clarity follows movement, the role of identity. If you see yourself as someone who delays, you will delay. If you see yourself as someone who starts, you will start. Identity shapes behavior. Each small action is a vote for a new identity. Becoming a person who starts. You do not become disciplined overnight. You become disciplined through small proof. Proof comes from action, not promises. Each time you begin, you rewrite your self-image. The fear of doing it wrong. Many delays come from fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of failure, but doing it wrong teaches more than not doing it at all. Mistakes are feedback, not failure. Movement creates energy. Energy does not come before action, it comes after. That tired feeling often disappears once you begin. Your body follows your decision. The power of a single step. You do not need a full plan. You need a first step. The first step creates direction. Direction creates momentum. Momentum changes everything. Stop negotiating with your mind. Your mind will always offer excuses. Later, after this, tomorrow. Do not negotiate. Decide. Decision removes debate. Why we overestimate tomorrow. Tomorrow feels bigger than today. You imagine more energy, more focus, more time, but tomorrow usually looks the same as today. Same distractions, same responsibilities, same limits. Waiting does not change conditions. Action changes conditions. The truth about time. Time is not found. Time is not found. Time is made. You do not suddenly get time. You decide what matters. When something truly matters, you create space for it. Tomorrow is often a way of saying, this is not a priority yet. Priorities reveal themselves. Your actions show your priorities, not your intentions. If something stays in tomorrow for weeks, it is not because you cannot do it. It is because you are choosing something else. This is not judgment. It is awareness. The emotional load of delay. Each delay adds emotional weight. Guilt, stress, self-doubt. You might not notice it right away, but it builds. That is why starting feels relieving, even before results appear. Procrastination and self-respect. Keeping promises to yourself builds self-respect. Breaking them repeatedly weakens it. Self-respect is not confidence. It is reliability. You trust yourself when you act. Why discipline is kindness. Discipline is not punishment. It is care. It is choosing long-term peace over short-term comfort. Discipline says, I care about my future self. The cost of waiting for inspiration. Inspiration is unpredictable. It comes and goes. If you wait for it, you give away control. Routine creates consistency. Consistency creates results. Building a starting routine. A starting routine is simple. Same time, same place, same first step. You remove decision-making. You remove excuses. The routine carries you when motivation disappears. Why habits beat willpower? Willpower is limited. Habits are automatic. The goal is not to force yourself every day. The goal is to make starting normal. Normal feels easy. The role of environment. Your environment influences action. Messy space, distracting phone, noise. Change your environment. Change your behavior. Make starting easier than delaying. Remove friction. Lower the barrier. Prepare tools in advance. Open the document. Set the closeout. Charge the device. Small preparation removes resistance. Stop making IT bigger than IT is. Your mind exaggerates tasks. It makes them heavy, overwhelming. Most tasks are lighter once begun. The fear is larger than the work. Progress over perfection. Perfection delays. Progress moves. Imperfect action beats perfect intention. The moment you decide. There is always a moment, a quiet moment, when you choose. That moment defines the day. You are closer than you think. Why now is enough. You do not need the best version of yourself. You need the present version. This version is enough to begin. The comfort of delay. Delay feels gentle. It feels like rest. But it is not rest. It is avoidance. Real rest restores energy. Delay drains it. That is why you can procrastinate all day and still feel tired. Why your mind resists change. Your mind prefers familiar patterns, even when they are unhelpful. Change requires energy, attention, uncertainty. So your mind pushes back. It offers comfort instead. Understanding this resistance helps you stop fighting yourself, working with your mind, not against IT. Instead of forcing massive change, work with small actions. Small actions feel safe. They bypass resistance. You are not trying to transform your life in one day. You are just opening the door. The power of showing up. Showing up is underrated. It does not look dramatic, but it builds everything. Most success comes from consistency, not intensity. Showing up today matters more than doing everything perfectly tomorrow. You feel stuck. Feeling stuck often means you are thinking too much, planning, replanning, waiting. Movement creates options. Stillness creates doubt. When in doubt, move. Stop waiting for confidence. Confidence is not a requirement. It is a result. You do not gain confidence by thinking. You gain it by acting. Action is the proof your mind needs. The fear of wasting time. Some people delay because they fear choosing the wrong thing. They worry about wasting time. But not choosing also wastes time. Doing something imperfect teaches faster than doing nothing. Decision over deliberation. You do not need the perfect choice. You need a decision. Decisions create direction. Direction creates momentum. You can adjust later. The energy of completion, finishing something, even small, creates satisfaction. That satisfaction fuels the next action. Completion builds confidence. Break tasks into micro steps. Large tasks create fear. Small steps create motion. Write one sentence, open one file, read one page. Motion beats hesitation. The truth about busy. Busy often means distracted, not productive. You can be busy all day and still avoid what matters. Focus reveals what you are truly avoiding. What you avoid holds power. The task you avoid most often matters most. That discomfort is a sign, not a warning. Lean toward it gently. Time blocking for action. Choose one block, short, protected. During this time, you do not optimize. You do not perfect. You act. Small focused time beats long distracted time. Why discipline feels freeing. Discipline removes constant decision making. It simplifies life. You do not argue with yourself. You act. Less mental noise, more peace. Redefining productive. Productive does not mean busy. It means aligned. Did you do what mattered today? Even a little. That is enough. The emotional payoff of starting. There is a quiet relief that comes with starting, not finishing, just starting. The moment you begin, your mind softens, the pressure eases, the weight lightens. This relief is your proof. Action heals hesitation. Your brain dramatizes tasks. Your brain exaggerates effort to protect energy. It turns small tasks into mountains. Once you start, you realize the mountain was a hill. Awareness breaks the illusion. Stop attaching your worth to results. Many people delay because they tie their value to outcomes. If I fail, I am not good enough. But your worth is not measured by performance. It is measured by effort. Detaching identity from results frees you to act. The power of imperfect days. Some days you will not do much. And that is okay. Progress is not linear. Consistency does not mean intensity. The cost of self-criticism. Harsh self-talk drains energy. It creates resistance. Kind firmness works better. Speak to yourself like someone you respect. Discipline without shame. Discipline does not need guilt. It needs clarity. You are not forcing yourself. You are choosing yourself. That choice matters. Why small wins build momentum. Small wins release confidence. Confidence fuels action. Momentum grows quietly. Then suddenly everything feels easier. The moment you feel resistance. Resistance is not a stop sign. It is a signal. It means you are near growth. Pause, breathe, start anyway. Action creates self-belief. Belief follows behavior, not the other way around. Each action whispers. Scary, I can trust myself. Over time, that whisper becomes confidence. You do not need to feel ready. Read that slowly. You do not need to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. Action is real. Focus on what is in your control. You cannot control outcomes. You can control effort. Effort today is power. The quiet pride of keeping promises. There is a quiet pride in doing what you said you would, even when no one is watching. That pride builds character. The fear of starting over. Sometimes tomorrow is not about laziness, it is about fear of starting again. You tried before, you stopped, and now restarting feels heavy. Your mind says, "What is the point?" But starting again is not failure, it is courage. Every restart carries wisdom from the last attempt. Let go of the all or nothing mindset. All or nothing thinking destroys momentum. If I cannot do it perfectly, I will not do it at all. Life does not work that way. Progress lives in the middle. Some effort is always better than none. Why consistency matters more than intensity. Intense effort feels impressive, but it fades quickly. Consistency feels quiet, but it builds lasting change. 5 minutes daily beats 1 hour once a week. The role of patience. Growth takes time, not days, not weeks, but repetition. Patience keeps you moving when excitement fades. Patience is choosing to continue without immediate reward. When you feel unmotivated, motivation comes and goes. That is normal. On low motivation days, lower the goal, not the standard. Show up smaller, but show up. Reducing decision fatigue. Too many choices drain energy. What to do, when to do it, how to do it. Simplify. Decide once. Repeat often. Routine protects energy. The power of doing it badly. Doing something badly is powerful. It removes fear. Bad writing can be edited. Bad effort can be improved. Nothing grows from nothing. Stop waiting for clearness. Clarity comes from action, not before it. Most people want certainty before starting, but certainty is built during movement. Begin unclear, adjust later. When you break a promise to yourself, it will happen. You will miss a day. Do not quit. Resume. One missed day is a pause, not the end. The difference between rest and avoidance. Rest is intentional. Avoidance is reactive. Rest restores. Avoidance numbs. Learn to tell the difference. Building trust through follow-through. Trust is built quietly, one action at a time. No announcements, no motivation speeches, just showing up. Why starting changes your identity. It's time you start, you prove something to yourself. You are no longer the person who waits. You are becoming the person who acts. Identity shifts slowly, but it shifts. The peace of progress. Progress brings calm, not perfection. Knowing you moved today, even slightly, creates peace. When tomorrow becomes a habit, tomorrow can turn into a habit. A quiet routine of delay, not dramatic, just consistent. Habits shape identity. If delay becomes normal, action feels foreign. The goal is not to remove tomorrow completely. The goal is to stop living there. The role of awareness. Awareness interrupts habit. The moment you notice yourself saying, "I will do it tomorrow," you have power. That pause is an opportunity, not to judge, but to choose differently. The two voices inside you. There are always two voices. One seeks comfort, the other seeks growth. Comfort speaks softly. Later, rest, it can wait. Growth speaks quietly. Just start. One step, now. You decide which voice to follow. Why discipline feels unnatural at first. Discipline feels uncomfortable because it is new. Your mind prefers familiar patterns. But discomfort does not mean wrong. It means unfamiliar. With repetition, discipline becomes normal. The fear of losing freedom. Some people resist structure because they fear losing freedom. They think routines trap them, but structure creates freedom. It reduces chaos. It protects focus. When you know when to act, you free your mind. The power of limits. Limits create urgency. Without limits, tomorrow expands endlessly. Set small deadlines, not to pressure, but to focus. A boundary gives shape to action. Why starting builds courage. Courage is not loud, it is quiet. It shows up as movement despite discomfort. Each start builds courage, not confidence. Courage. Turning a task into a practice. Instead of seeing tasks as outcomes, see them as practice. Practice removes pressure. You are not performing, you are learning. Learning invites action. When progress feels invisible, some days progress feels invisible. No big change, no reward, but growth is happening beneath the surface. Trust the process. Trust repetition. The difference between thinking and preparing. Thinking delays, preparing enables. Preparing means setting tools, clearing space, choosing a time. Preparation makes starting easier. The momentum of small choices. Big change comes from small choices repeated, not from one dramatic decision. Every time you choose now, you weaken tomorrow. The calm that follows decision removes tension. Indecision creates it. Once you decide to begin, your body relaxes. The waiting was heavier than the work. When you feel overwhelmed, overwhelm means too much at once. Shrink the focus. One task, one step. One moment, simplicity restores calm. You must forgive your past delays. Holding guilt keeps you stuck. Forgiveness frees energy. You did the best you could with what you knew. Now you know more. Begin from here. The emotion behind delay. Behind every delay, there is an emotion: boredom, fear, doubt, uncertainty. Tasks are rarely avoided because they are difficult. They are avoided because of how they make us feel. Understanding the emotion reduces its power. Naming the feeling changes it. When you feel resistance, name it quietly. This feels uncomfortable. This feels boring. This feels scary. Naming creates distance. Distance creates choice. You are no longer controlled by the feeling, you are observing it. Why avoidance feeds anxiety? Avoidance gives short relief, but long anxiety. The mind keeps reminding you, you have not done this yet. Starting brings immediate relief, even before progress. Action calms the nervous system. The science of starting. Movement signals safety to the brain. It says, I am handling this. That signal reduces stress, reduces fear, and increases focus. You do not calm down to act. You act to calm down. The value of boring consistency. Not all progress feels exciting. Most of it feels ordinary. Boring consistency builds extraordinary results. Waiting for excitement keeps you waiting. When you think you need a break, ask yourself, do I need rest? Or do I need to avoid? True rest restores. Avoidance numbs. Choose rest intentionally, not accidentally. The role of commitment. Commitment removes negotiation. You decide once, then you follow through. Less thinking, more doing. Commitment protects energy. You should start even on bad days. Bad days do not disappear, but progress can still happen. Lower the effort, not the action. A small step on a bad day is powerful. The difference between motion and progress. Motion feels busy, progress feels meaningful. Scrolling, organizing, planning, these can be motion without progress. Progress creates output, even if imperfect.